In this video, we're going to be comparing two homes with two different builders, and at the end of the video, I want to hear from you which one is better. We're going to start off with the Denison plan with Coventry Homes. This plan is over 2,300 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms and a study, 3 full bathrooms, and is a 1-story plan with a 2-car garage. And like usual, we're going to go right out to the main living area, and we're going to cover this home first, and then I will get into the next home after this, and then you can compare the two together. Starting off with this main living area, I love how this Denison plan has a kitchen island facing out to a main living area that also has the dining to the side. So even though this is a plan just over 2,300 square feet, this is a very large main living area. It's not something I typically see in a lot of homes around this square footage, especially being a 1-story plan. Starting off with the kitchen, I like what they did here with the waterfall kitchen island. I just walked one of my clients' homes who just had their waterfall countertop go in for their kitchen island, and it looks fantastic. I would say a lot of people who do the waterfall end up usually doing a countertop that has more veins in it, so you can see that stark contrast of a vein along that countertop, but I think this still looks good because they did darker cabinets, and there's still a bit of a contrast here in the kitchen to make certain elements of the kitchen stand out. And I love this view from the kitchen island, even if you're just doing dishes here or in your kitchen doing some cooking. There's so many great windows in the back wall, lots of natural light coming in. And here's a look at the pantry, which I would say is fairly typical around this square footage. And then getting back out to this kitchen area, I like how they kept the backsplash simple just because they did so many other elements in this kitchen, like the 2-tone cabinets, that waterfall kitchen island that we were talking about before. Now, this is going to be the dining area. At this square footage, it's very rare that you would have a separate dining room. Usually that's not going to make the home feel very open concept, which is what a lot of buyers are looking for these days. I like how they kind of kept it off to the side, so it's still its own area. And then the living room still has a great amount of space. Love that fireplace design. Again, providing a little bit of contrast to break up that wall. And then again, lots of great space in here. I think the windows are making a big difference. It just makes the exterior space feel like it's part of the interior space, and that makes things feel so much bigger in here. Now, we will head outside later on in the video. What I want to head to next is the primary bedroom and primary bathroom. I think they did a great job in here, both from a design standpoint as well as the space that you're feeling in this area. And again, it all starts with the windows. So when you first walk in, just that transom window, these are things that do cost builders quite a bit of money, and it's not a lot of things that people see in a home or focus in on when they're looking at a floor plan. But what I've gathered from walking these homes hundreds of times is it makes a massive difference. Like when you enter in a bedroom like this, I love the accent wall in the back. There's good design work that's here, but the windows are what makes such a difference. Like, take a look at that bench seating there. I've had people just put like a cushion down there, like one of those long cushions, and just use it as a reading nook. Or just aesthetically, it looks nice that there's like almost like a sitting bench on that side. Even if you don't necessarily use it, it just makes the room feel so much bigger, again, with the windows on the back wall, and I think that sitting bench. And this is going to be the primary bathroom. Love what they did here with the tile work. There's some good movement in this tile. And then you have that very cool accent wall in the walk-in shower, which we'll get a closer look at in a second. First, here's a look at the tub. I like what they did here with the tile surround. There are usually options for a freestanding tub for people who don't use tubs often. Sometimes they just like that freestanding tub. It just looks a little bit more spacious, a little bit more sleek. It's what I think everybody's looking for. But either way, whatever you do with the tub, you get this great walk-in shower, which I love how they did the tile all the way up to the ceiling. They did that shampoo niche, and they did the accent wall inside that niche, just breaking up that tile that goes all the way up to the wall. These are such great design elements that I always tell people, steal from model homes, get inspired from model homes. You don't have to do everything that you see in here, otherwise they'll get pretty expensive. But definitely take elements of this. Like, I never thought of doing an accent wall in a shower and matching that into a shampoo niche. Very cool things that you can do, which is always fun, especially when you're living in the home, enjoying these different designs that you did at their design studio. It's such a rewarding process when you go through it. This, of course, is going to be the primary closet. Again, windows, they fit somehow another window in this owner's closet. So good to get that natural light, especially when you're waking up in the morning, getting some clothes. And if you're worried about privacy, you can always put a protective film over that window. My wife and I have actually bought one off of Amazon for some transom windows. We want a little bit more privacy. Super easy to put on, and then it does make the window opaque so you can't actually see through it. Okay, let's head over to the outdoor patio area, and then I'll show you the study and the rest of this home. And then we will get to the next home, which is with Pantry Homes, a different builder. But again, this home is the Denison plan with Coventry Homes. Coventry Homes and Pantry Homes, both great builders, especially in the Austin metro area. They're doing a good amount of volume here. And I like some of the upgrades that they do, or that they offer at their studio, but also just some of the things that they already include in their plans. Great ceiling height, great windows, and then great patio options. This is a good patio option. So usually the patio would be cut off at that pillar on the right side, and you would just get this patio on the right side where you see a couple chairs. They did an upgrade option, which I believe is called the Texas size patio. Don't quote me on that. They change those patio names often, but that wraps the patio all the way around, which I think is a great upgrade, especially if you spend a lot of time in your backyard. Now, that sidewalk area would not be something a builder would do along with a lot of this landscaping here. This is a model home. Landscaping is usually going to be a little bit different in a backyard, and that sidewalk there is actually to get to the neighboring model home that is also with Coventry Homes here. So that's why that was put there. But for you, you could always do something after closing. I have a lot of pool companies, especially here in Texas where pools are popular, where they can do a full build out landscaping package along with a pool and whatever decking you need. And I actually have a client doing that right now, as a couple clients doing that right now as we speak. And there's so many different options you can do with them. This is going to be the study area. Love the upgrades that they did here. That accent wall, let me know what you think about that. I think that is so cool, especially if you had the desk kind of backing up to that wall. So a lot of people are looking at like Zoom backgrounds and or YouTube backgrounds. I think it's cool to have kind of like a wall design like that. Now with this staging, of course, they just have that desk in the middle with two chairs on either side. I think they do this because there's a lot of walk-through traffic in these areas. I think for a lot of people on a study, they like to put their desk either up against the wall or in the center of the room just to feel a little bit more space. Okay, let's move on to the other 3 bedrooms. Lots of things to still cover here, and then we're going to get to that other home with Pantry Homes and compare the two together. Again, this home is the Denison plan with Coventry Homes, and I'll cover the differences between the plans when we get to the second home. Now, before we get to those bedrooms, I should say this is going to be the laundry area. I love the tile that they chose here. You can do very cool tile work, I think, in these smaller spaces. And I've even had people do it in their primary bathroom before, especially if you really like a tile. They, of course, don't have the washer and dryer in here because nobody's living in this model home. It's just for show. But somebody will eventually live in here, and they'll enjoy that cool tile work in that utility room, laundry room area. Now, this is going to be one of the spare bedrooms, but it's more private from the other bedrooms. So it's on the right side of the home for this specific home, the way it's oriented. This is on the right side of the home. All the other bedrooms in the study are on the left side. And I think for a lot of buyers, this separate bedroom that's a little bit more private is very useful to have. For some couples where they're both working from home, or some even just want like a separate workout area, or there's lots of different needs to have this separate bedroom area that a lot of people would just use as like a flex area, meaning there's different uses for it. It's nice to have that private from the rest of the home and then still get a full bathroom right off of it, which is what we're seeing here. And great options here. I like this tile work, which is very different. I don't know what this shape is called, but I think it looks great. Let me know what you think, of course. And while we head over to the other 2 bedrooms that have a full bathroom in between them, which, by the way, both full bathrooms that we're seeing here are accessible from the hallway. So this could be a guest bathroom if you just have guests over, or the other bathroom is also accessible from the hallway. So neither of these bedrooms are en suite. I've had mixed reviews about that. Some people say they really want a bedroom en suite so you don't have to walk out to a hallway to access it. If you have like maybe somebody staying with you for a long time, or you don't want your kids kind of running out from the bathroom to their bedroom, which I can get. Sometimes it's nice to have like a Jack and Jill full bathroom in between. But then, where do your guests go if they have to use the restroom? So these are the types of things that you don't necessarily have to put at the top of your priority list. But I think it's something interesting to think about, because when you're building new, oftentimes you can get a lot more of what you want and not compromise as much. And it's just a matter of finding the right plan and get the right upgrades within that plan to get all of what you want, or most of the things that you want. This is going to be one of the bedrooms, and then this is going to be the full bathroom in between them. And at the time I'm recording this video, I will say that I'm a few days away from going back to Coventry's design studio, where I have somebody flying in, and they are going to be doing back-to-back appointments, morning and afternoon, to design their home. Not always the best way to do things, but obviously for people that have work and are flying in and have kids and a lot of things to coordinate, sometimes it's not as easy as just taking a couple days off to set some appointments up with the builder to design their home. It is possible to do this all in one day, but you have to do some preparation up front. So for my clients who are flying in a few days, we've already met via Zoom. I'm actually going out and taking some pictures of the exterior of homes, so when they pick their stone color or whatever their exterior is, they already have some ideas of what other homes look like. And then again, we've already met on Zoom and talked quite a bit about the big three, is what I'd call them, which is flooring, and then kitchen upgrades, which is cabinets, countertops, backsplash, different things like that in your kitchen, and then your primary bathroom and other bathrooms. What type of towel are you going to put in? So before we head out of here, I just want to show this ceiling work that they did here, some ceiling design, and also it just makes the home feel a little bit bigger with that bump out in the ceiling, that tray ceiling. Always great to see this, and we are going to see this in the next home. Maybe just it looks a little bit different than this, but this is why I like walking homes with Coventry. I mentioned design before. They have great options at their design studio. I've been there quite a bit. And then they also have great plans like this, that even with this being a one-story plan, still feels very spacious. A lot of different great upgrades that they have in here. Overall, it is a great plan. But is it better than this plan? You tell me. This is the 2545 plan with Pantry Homes. The name of the plan, 2545, is also the approximate square footage of the plan. It has 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, is also a one-story plan with a 2-car garage. And I want to get your take on everything: the layout, the upgrades. We were even showing the ceiling design that they had when you first walked in the last home with Coventry. What do you think about this ceiling design with Pantry Homes? So many things to compare, but we're going to go right out to what I feel like is the main part of the home, which is that main living area, kitchen, dining, living room. As you can tell, the layout is a little bit different than the previous home that we saw. The previous home, the dining room and living room were on the sides of each other, so the room felt maybe a little bit wider. Here, I think you still get a good amount of width. You have great windows on the back wall, but everything is back to back to back. So it gets you a little bit more breathing room between your kitchen and your living room. And then in the previous home, we had a study in addition to 4 bedrooms. In this home, we have a game room, but that game room could act as a study. It would just be a very big study, and we will get in there later on in the video. What I want to get to first is the primary bedroom and bathroom. Then we're going to cover that main living area and work our way to the front of the home. Starting off here in the primary bedroom area, love the windows again on that back wall. Maybe it doesn't have that bench seating, but I think those windows are so large. Again, it's bringing so much natural light, which I think is important, especially when you're trying to wake up in the morning. It's great to see that big of a bedroom, lots of space in here. And then I love what they did here in the primary bathroom, where the sinks are kind of separated from each other on either side. You have this tub, which becomes the centerpiece of the bathroom. And then so many different designs you can do here. In front of us, you see towels. I've seen people put like a mirror there, so it makes the room even feel bigger. And then we do have 2 closets on either side of the tub, which we will get to in a second. But I want to show you what I think great builders do well here. We're in the bathroom, and they still have 3 windows on the right side. So you get windows out there in the bedroom, you get this cool sliding door, which I don't think too many homeowners do, although I'm finding a lot of people are asking about it, trying to figure out if they can do it after closing or if it makes sense with the builder. I'm sure it'll come back. I think when supply chain became very bad, these things like sliding doors or things that felt a little bit more custom started to just get too expensive. But what I'm finding builders are doing is bringing some of those options back. So I'm excited to see more of those come back and maybe more clients do that when they're building their home. This is going to be one of the closets on the left side. This way, with 2 closets, you don't have to fight for space. Everything should be allocated appropriately, meaning you shouldn't be fighting for space here. And those windows behind us are fantastic. You might notice there's a lot of natural light coming in here while still giving you privacy. Great combination to have here in the bathroom. And then this is going to be that second primary closet. Good amount of space in both. I think it's an adequate amount of room, especially when we're in the mid 2000s for square footage. Although I've walked these with a lot of buyers, and some people say there's never enough room in their primary closet. And if you're chuckling while I'm saying that, then either you've said that before or you know somebody who definitely thinks that there's never enough room in their closet. Before we leave this primary bathroom, I think I need to show the walk-in shower here. Great design work. I like how they pretty much cut up the tile on the wall and put that on the floor tile. So I've seen some builders offer that. I like how they went all the way up to the ceiling, so it just feels so much more complete in here and so much more spacious when it's all that tile work. And I think unlike the previous home that we saw that had a little bit of a contrast, had darker cabinets and then everything else was light and bright, here they just kept it all light and bright, a lot of whites and grays for this design work in their home. And if you are watching this in 2023 or even sometime in the near future, Perry, when they're building a lot of their inventory homes, and inventory homes means they're building the plan on a specific lot, they're picking all the upgrades that are in the home for the most part, they usually do a lot of whites and grays from what I've seen. They might mix in, like you see the flooring is got that brown look to it. They might mix that in from time to time, but I've been noticing a lot of whites and grays, and they love doing the wood look tile flooring, which if you don't know anything about wood look tile, very durable material, great for if you have kids or pets and you're worried about, hardwood getting scratched up. Very difficult to scratch porcelain tile. I think you'd have to do it on purpose to really damage it, but it's very durable material, and I've been finding a lot of buyers very interested in these wood look tiles now lately. Okay, getting back to the plan, this is going to be the living room area. Good amount of space in here. I like the windows in the back wall, including the patio door. You got 5 windows there, so that outdoor space feels like it's a part of the interior space. And I think I said that previously with the last plan because it also had great windows. Here, the patio, instead of wrapping around like an L shape, you can fit, as you can tell, a big dining table here because this is a big patio area. I would love to give dimensions in my videos, but I've had a lot of builders ask me not to because they do change these dimensions over time. And we don't want to be misleading anybody, or I can't predict when you're watching this or what the builder has changed in the future. But just know for patio sizes around this square footage, pretty rare to get that large of a patio where you could fit easily like a grill on there along with that dining table as you saw. Now, in terms of backyards, you don't expect all the landscaping that they're doing here. That tends to be a little bit more model home specific. You're probably just going to have sod back here, possibly sprinklers, depending on the community that you're buying this home in. And also, when it comes to yard sizes, a lot of people ask me, is this a typical yard? The answer is there aren't really typical yards unless you're in a community where all the lots are more in like a block formation, like a perfect rectangle. That's a little bit different. In this community, which is Palmyra Ridge, it's a community in Leander, Texas, they have a new section where there's some topography there. There's even lots with views that are very deep. So in this community, I think the lots would vary quite a bit. And I can actually say the same thing for the previous home that we saw, which I'll cover later on. Getting back to the plan, this is going to be that dining area right off of the kitchen. I like what they did here where they extended the countertops and cabinets. So I don't think it's, cutting into the dining room. I think this would be dead space if there was nothing here. So I like that they did that because it really extends that kitchen and makes things feel so much bigger. And speaking of the kitchen, I love the two-tone look that Perry does. I often see it in a lot of their model homes. Also the light fixtures, I love what Perry does there too. I've had a lot of clients that with Perry have chosen these light fixtures that with most builders, they're very limited with light fixtures or they carry quite the price tag. Whereas with Perry, I find many buyers doing these different light fixtures and putting them in their homes and still getting things within budget or without paying a crazy premium. Now, of course, that's something that could change over time. And this is where working with a realtor who can represent you on the buy side and tell you all the ins and outs of these builders and can tell you what has changed recently. It's always helpful when trying to make a decision on who to buy from and what to buy. And we saw the pantry area again previously. That was pretty typical from what we've seen. I like the designer vent hood or under cabinet vent hood that they did here. And then just like the last home, we have a kitchen island that faces to the back of the home. But again, let me know what you think about this, where the last home we saw was a little bit wider, I would say, because the dining and living room were on either side. On this one, everything is back to back to back. Another big difference that we talked about before is this game room area. As you can tell, a lot more space in here. They do have double doors to enter this game room. I like the pitch ceiling with the beam and that, again, light fixture that I love seeing Perry do. I actually had somebody who I think did that light fixture in their dining room for the Perry home that I have under construction with one of my buyers. It looks fantastic. And if for somebody who's saying, well, I really need to have a study, I work from home, you could easily just close these doors and you would just have a very big study area. I've also had somebody who just said, hey, I need a study and a small workout area for my Peloton or whatever bike or bench that you're using to work out. And sometimes having that game room that is just a big area for both, it's great to have it because it's just one separate area and you're not taking up one of the bedrooms to get some of these things that you want in your home. Now that is going to be a look at the utility rooms. That would normally be where your laundry is. Obviously there's nobody living in here because this is a model home, so they just have a copier machine in there. And then just like the previous home, they do have one of the spare bedrooms. It's a little bit private from the other areas of the home, being that it's on the right side of the home. And then everything else is pretty much on the left side, other than that game room that we just saw previously. And then the big difference here too is that this has an in-suite full bathroom. And oftentimes I find a lot of buyers really want this, especially for buyers that tell me that when their parents fly in and are going to be spending a lot of time with them, maybe a month or two, it's nice to have that in-suite full bathroom so they're not, exiting their bathroom through a hallway to get to their bedroom. A lot of personal preference here. I've had people say that this is at the top of their list. I've had other people say, this is kind of nice, but not at the top of my list. And this is the beauty of new construction, like I was saying before, is you can find plans to really get certain things that you really want in your home. And a good walk-in closet. I think both homes had pretty good size walk-in closets for their spare bedroom that was a little bit more private from the other areas. And then if you're wondering, well, what would guests use for their bathroom, the other bathroom that we're going to see, which is a full bathroom in between two bedrooms that is accessible from the hallway. And then here is another look at that ceiling design. Maybe a little bit unfair here. They did great light fixtures that I don't think we saw in the previous home. That's just a decision they made to put into this home. But either way, it's great to showcase what I think that they're good at. They have great light fixture options like I was seeing previously. Actually, both of my Perry buyers have great light fixtures they chose. And that is going to be closed off, what I was just showing you there. This would be a 2-car garage, but they're using it as a builder agent's office. That would be your mud bench on the left side, and on the right side would be a doorway to get into your 2-car garage. So I don't want you to think there's extra space here that you're getting. Again, that would be your 2-car garage and closed off. This is going to be the 2 bedrooms that is split by a full bathroom. As you can tell, great windows in here. I like how in every model home they do these like accent walls in their spare bedrooms, just to kind of paint the picture of not necessarily what's possible with a builder. I don't think most builders would do that accent wall, but just something that you can do aftermarket that makes these bedrooms stand out just a little bit. And good closet space, as you can see here. And I think with both builders, you have these 1-story plans where when a lot of people are looking at moving to Texas, they think they need to buy this big home and then they buy this big home and they don't use all the space in their home. And that is quite the waste of money, because even when you buy your home, keep in mind you're still paying for expenses after the fact. You're paying property taxes on that square footage that you're not using. You're also getting air conditioning costs, which is fairly high in when you're moving to Texas compared to other areas. But we make up for it because you don't have much in heating costs, right? But either way, you're paying for all this space. And so what I always recommend to people is, instead of just looking at square footage as a number, let's take a look at homes, figure out what you like or don't like, then walk these homes, get a feel for the space, and then come back to the number. Because oftentimes I find people just say, well, I need X amount of space, just because it's that number that they're set on. But then when they walk these homes with an open mind, they're actually much more open-minded to these homes, where if you're coming from an area like older cities in the northeast part of the United States, those homes feel closed off. You know, of course I'm making a broad assumption, but some of those homes that are older, they didn't make them as open concept like they're doing with some of these new builds. And they might be bigger in square footage numbers, but they feel smaller. Whereas this is the opposite. They're much more open concept, tall ceilings, big windows. These are all things that make smaller spaces feel much bigger. And that's what we see with great builders like Pantry Homes, which you saw in this plan, the 2545 plan. Now it's decision time. Which home did you like better? Did you like that Denison plan with Coventry Homes better? If you recall, it had that kitchen island that looked out to that spacious living room and dining area. It also had that primary bedroom that had that bench seat with all the great windows on the back wall, had a primary bathroom that had fantastic upgrades, and then it had a study and 3 other bedrooms in this home. Or did you like the 2545 plan with Pantry Homes, which, if you remember, it had that kitchen that looked out to the dining room and living room all back to back to back. It had that spacious primary bedroom, which opened up to this great primary bathroom that had closets on either side, and the tub was a bit more of the focal point of this bathroom. And then we had 3 other bedrooms in this home, along with that spacious game room that we saw previously, which you could also use as a study or just keep it exactly how it looks, this game room area. So let me know what you think in the comments of which home is better. And as always, hope this helps. Take care.